how are you planning to refine your research based on these initial findings? And what are the next steps for this work in the Mid South?
Pause. When you say refine, like for future studies?
Yeah, how is your research going to evolve based on your initial findings? Anything?
Oh, I gotta think about that one. Sorry.
Or how
Let's-
about this? What are the next steps for your work?
what next steps? Well, can I say that we're actively enrolled? Okay, gotcha. Okay,
Mm,
ask the question. Go ahead.
mm. So this work is very important. Tell me a little bit about
Mm-hmm.
what your next steps are.
We're going to continue. So we've recruited the first cohort. We have a robust kind of ambitious recruitment plan, and so the next step is to keep enrolling, keep reaching out to community members, continue getting the word out about the access study in our region, and trying to have more of those touch points with clinicians so that they can refer their own patients who may be eligible and interested. And so I'm really excited that the next steps are for us to continue doing this research, learning what we're learning. I can't give the sneak peek today, but we're finding some really I don't want to even say interesting. I think what we're finding are some mutable factors that are changeable. So we know that some of these factors are not mutable by researchers. I can't change insurance access. I can't change, structural vulnerability in the Mississippi Delta. But what we can do is we can find factors by which we can improve the intrapersonal and interpersonal, and even some of those institutional factors that would in some ways create barriers, but I do think we can turn it around and have those same factors be supports for Black women's health.
Mhm. And do you see this framework as portable to other cancers or regions with similar racial and socioeconomic disparities? And what would need to be adapted?
100%. Um, I'm a qualitative researcher, and so I'm a bit biased. But I actually feel like this is what so many researchers should be doing is getting out from behind the databases, from behind the publicly available data, and really mining the experiences of the folks who live in your city, the folks who live in your region. I think we're finding associations, we're finding trend data, but some of the questions that we as researchers and clinicians have could best be answered with these qualitative, community centric, visual methodologies. And so I am a proponent of these methodologies that I think should be used in more oncology research so that we can get to not just the what of disparities research, but the why.
Mhm. And are there any particular metrics beyond, say, accrual numbers that you think should become standard when evaluating whether recruitment approaches are truly equitable?
That's a great question. That's a good question. You know what? What's coming to my mind are some of the unique stories of the women we've met. Women who live in very rural Mississippi, those who have experienced what we call intersectional traumas that have directly impacted their life course throughout the health system. So this doesn't mean just oncology, but this means from adolescence on. And some of those unique stories, those ends of one, definitely are not the ends of thousands we see in clinical trials, but those ends of ones tell us a lot because behind every N of one that may be in a study like mine or others, there are hundreds, I believe hundreds of women who represent those stories, right? And so what I say is that yes, accrual numbers are important, trend data is important, but really centering the unique experiences of women is important for intervention development, for us to then be able to test and confirm the concepts and the mechanisms that we put in our interventions. So many of them don't um, don't make the changes that we would hope that they would as interventionists. And I think that sometimes because they were developed by experts researchers and clinicians, and not the real experts, the women living those lives.
Interesting. You know, that kind of that individualized basis makes me think about things like artificial intelligence and how we're using that to step closer and closer to more individualized therapies. Have you thought at all about how maybe artificial intelligence and machine learning might play into work like this in the future? Do you have a pie in the sky idea of what that could look like?
I don't know that my pie in the sky includes AI right now, if I'm really honest. I'm probably going to be one of the late adopters to AI, if I'm really honest. And the reason why is because I don't know if we have a good foundation of what this looks like in human terms first, right? I don't know that researchers have mastered the art of engagement with humans in these community-based participatory ways. And so I am actually concerned about what machine learning algorithms will look like. We already know that there's some work out about already the AI biases that exist in the search terms and whatnot. So I am not. I'm not going to ring the death knell for traditional research, because I don't know if we have a good foundation of how to appropriately mine the unique experiences of women from different backgrounds and cultures appropriately.